Hello, this is McMulligan, here to show you a new video in Estoria. This time, instead of just talking about the views of the channel, I'm going to be showcasing the progress we've done so far on the world, things we've built, the little details about this world and what has gone into it, and all the people working on it. Give it a little brief overview, at least of what I remember of us starting all of this. Um, Start off with this central point was the first part of the city that was actually built. This compass was built by Matt and Rain. They built this as basically the central point, this little roundabout, to essentially build the city off of. After that, they started working on these two blocks right here. This one is actually almost complete block. Not all the buildings are done. Not the detailing on this building, for instance, hasn't even been touched on yet that much. But it is still getting there. But let's dive in to what makes this world what it is. For instance, we have a few rules on this world. One, we have a standard for height limit. We work on 1.5 scale, which is essentially like when you're looking at the actual measurements of what Minecraft blocks are to real life. It's like a one block is a meter. In our scale, it is basically 1.5 times, like basically less than that. I'd say about 66% of a meter. I'm not going to get into the actual mathematics of that because, well, I don't want to get that big brain right now, and I honestly don't have time for that. But to get to the meat and heart of it, that is part of it. One of our things with this world is rooms, and basically what the height of a room needs to be a minimum of 5 blocks high to accommodate for this, basically this scale. As such, the doorways have to be a little taller, but what this allows for is basically more detail to be put into the builds. You can get a lot more done on 1.5 scale compared to 1-to-1 scale. If you've seen many 1-to-1 scale cities or medieval builds or anything of such in Minecraft, you'll notice that while they can look good, they're still very, I guess you could call it, Minecrafty. And we're trying to go for less that look and more of a realistic look. As you can see in many of these builds in the city, we've been doing just that. Another thing, roof details, things like that, texturing. Texturing is one of the biggest ones. Making sure everything is a mix of different blocks to give, like, not only a look of aging, but also a look of the material that was put into the building. It just looks a lot nicer at the end of the day. There's a few exceptions to this rule, like this building here that Rain built, this college, and the only reason this one does not have that is it's a very clean building. It is a very new building. It's a college, actually. He has not finished this one yet, as many of the builds on this world have not been finished. But they soon will be, and what I plan to do is I'm going to showcase, well, right now I'm going to showcase our progress this far, but as each block gets built, I will showcase each individual block as they are finished in their entirety. And with realms now being available, we'll have much more time to do so. So expect a showcasing of some of these blocks very, very soon, as well as some other more special projects that I have in the works. But for now, I will just show you what's around. For instance, this monorail was put in a few months back. Very well detailed train. I was watching them build this when Matt and Rain and I think someone else was working on it, but I don't remember who. And they were just detailing this train here, and they have plans to curve this around. Actually, the monorail goes in a curve all the way up here, as I will show you here in a second, all the way to the side. And we're really big on curves and like road structure, and that's one of the big things that comes about in this city is we need to plan everything ahead of time, where everything's going to be. Not necessarily the buildings themselves, but the layout of the city. It just makes it come out much better in the end when we go to build it. And there are a few things I love about this. And this was entirely done up to Matt and Rain. They had this idea. I've been helping them, but they are the masterminds behind that particular part of this city. And they've done a lot of good work for that. Matt has done amazing work in this, laying out this this big block. Like this whole curve, this angle right here, with all these buildings going down like this. You don't see this kind of thing very often. And the level of detail that goes in each one of them. And we're actually about to start doing a big project of getting all the interiors done. and then finishing up both this block and the one next to it. And then we're all gonna get together and work on another block that's well, it's not complete yet, not even the slightest. I actually just built a building on it today to sort of push that forward more. But we have a few interesting builds over here. For instance, Luke, Matt's brother, a guy who always said, like, he always was like, I am not a good builder, I'm not a good builder. Then he bloody built this. This thing is, for lack of a better term, kick-ass. I love it. It is like... what can I describe? I saw this boy build what was essentially a block in Minecraft. And then we got him on this world, showed him a little bit, just taught him a little bit of the theory behind building, and he ended up building things like this, and while granted a lot, and he also built some other buildings that are on this block that look, well, they look kind of nasty, I'm not gonna lie. In a good way, like, because one of the things the cities were going through realism, and in many cities you have a lot of buildings that just kind of look disgusting, but that is the point. Like, he built this one, I believe, and this one's also a very well done build, and I love it. Matt built this, and this is another building that I love the design of. This is an art school that he, one day I was watching him, I actually helped him a little bit with placing the blocks down on it, but it is entirely his design. And it looks amazing, especially incorporating all of the greenery into it, which is going to be a big part of this city. We also have another rule: no standard Minecraft trees. All our trees are custom. We actually have a tree farm in the world where we build a lot of different types of custom trees of the same species of tree to use for later purposes, in that you can just grab whatever the code is and use command blocks to essentially copy paste them in there. Obviously going at different angles, and we have them like maybe 10, 20 of the same kind of tree just to do the variations of it. But it means that we can get a lot more work done in regards to essentially doing greenery work, building trees and all that. And it also means if we ever get to the point where we need to build a forest for any reason, it'll be a lot easier to do so, as we'll have the resources for it. But moving on to this, going further down this block, there's a lot of older buildings, a lot of old office buildings. Another thing is, most of these buildings are going to have some level of interior, but we also do something called fake interiors. How we do it is usually the first floor or two of each building will have a proper interior, and with the rest being what we call fake interiors, which are, well, I'm showing you this right now. You cannot get into these. They look like real interiors, and essentially they are, but they are there for looks and other sort of things to essentially make the world just sort of pop out and, you know, show that there's actually something there. We have doorways actually showing where you'd essentially go into them if this was a real world, but they're blocked off by structure blocks. Because most people will see the first interior or something, and they'll look at it and be like, that'll be fine enough for them. This also means that when you're flying by, you'll also see all of this work inside the actual building, and it still gives the same look while not taking away from the build at all. We also have some other builds, like most of my builds still have interiors, like full interiors. Like this one, the Law Officers of Ornstein and Smog. I did this whole mirror effect on there. Oh no, there's the ghost, don't worry, he's friendly. And this goes up for a ways. There's like some standard offices in here. It's just a law firm. But there's not too much going on in these, except for the top floor, which I actually put a decent amount of work into the main offices. Bathrooms, by the way. This right here is the office of Smog. It's a rather large man. A very large man. As you can definitely see. I'd hate to be that big. And then you got Ornstein's office, you know, and this fancy asshole who actually runs the company. Well, he owns the company, and then Smog over there is doing all the work. But, you know, that's how it tends to go in the business anyway. And this office, I actually really like. I know I'm tooting my own horn here, but I'm honestly a bit proud of it. I like it. Even though the guy who resides in it's kind of an asshole. And that's more or less for the show on this building. I won't spend too much time here. The next thing to show around here is like these buildings around here, and none of them really have, this one does not have its interior done, but it's still a very well designed building architecturally. Another thing is incorporating all of the different colored blocks, different textured blocks, because you can't just take what a block's called and go, yeah, a building can't be built out of that, because something like sand can be used to do, you can do so much with it in terms of design, like, oh, speak of the devil, look right here, that's sand. And it's just incorporated into a simple floor design. It looks very nice, and that is another part of building, is looking past what a block is and actually trying to make something with it when doing architecture, when doing design, when doing anything. This building, by the way, as you could probably tell, is a small single window cinema. You see a lot of these like in the middle of cities where they'll be just have one cinema. A lot of these old cinemas usually are playing older movies, and it's usually a different one every day. I know we had a few of those in the city I was living in for a few years in Birmingham, and they were pretty fun. For a few times. Mostly showed older movies. If you're into that sort of thing, pretty good. But, this, by the way, here is like a set... You know, I probably should zoom out and show this. This right here is a set of... They're technically the same building, but they're all blocked off, and these were built by Matt. They all have these, hole-in-the-wall little things down in them, like this little bar down in here, and I believe this is all of Matt's design. It's like a little Irish pub. I really like it. It's very well done, very well made, and he also built this restaurant over here that has this band. Oh, and also this is another very well done interior by Matt. It's very green in here. I feel like this would be like a vegetarian's paradise. You can count me out. I like my meat. Anyway, kitchen area, all that kind of stuff. We also built the other material, what the hell am I going on about? Interior, down here. Let me see, what do you name it? Bogada's Jazz Club. Well, that explains the, well, that definitely explains the band area. Microphone, all that stuff. They have a little bar in here. It's like a little restaurant. The kitchen area is back there. I also really like the bathroom in here. I know that's a weird detail to point out, but, like, it just has a really good vibe to it. I also like the sink. It's interesting. I feel like I would have dipped it down with a stair. Oh, no, it is dipped. It's just hard to see with my lighting. And moving on forward from that, we also have a few other things here. That, which I'll get to in a minute. That's the building Bloodwolf just built. He's been getting a lot better, and this... I believe he built this building from scratch. It is very well done, and he's still in the middle of working on the interior, as you can see. So that should be done today, most likely. But this over here is what I really wanted to show. This parking garage. Matt built this, and he put a lot of work into it. Oh, also that advertisement over there. Oh, beautiful. But back on topic, there was a lot of effort put into this. There were so many cars in this parking garage, like an unbelievable amount of cars in this parking garage. And you see more cars are in it as you go down the levels. Like this level, you know, so like a lot of the spots are filled, but there's still open space for parking. But you go down even further, and essentially all the parking spots are taken down here. I think there's like upwards of 500 plus cars in this garage or something ridiculous. I don't remember the exact number, but he put so much work into this, and it really paid off in the end. And it's a small thing, I know, but it's definitely, I think it's impressive. We also have these different truck designs. Another thing to note about this area is that this is like a little back road, the construction's still going on, and you have a bit more of these like old, kind of disgusting looking buildings. I think a few of these were built by Luke. Very well done, but we know what they are. Oh, and this little park area, you know, like this is so hidden away back in here, but it's so good looking. Incorporation of the prism blocks, and this fountain back here, yeah, a lot of people probably wouldn't even know this is back here without coming right into that little alley. It's connected up with all the thing, and you can see all the back entrances to the buildings coming through. A lot of the vines coming up as well. And this is what I was getting at. We put a lot of work into just small detail in trying to make everything feel more alive. And this is another thing, all these shop stands right here, it's almost like a little caravan almost, and this is like a little shopping district with all these trucks and everything. People are selling potted plants. All sorts of different little things. So that delivery truck right there. And there's more to show here. Let me actually go over to the blocks that are not fully finished yet. Please select that lift design. If Realms would decide to stop being an asshole and actually let me go through, okay, thank you. This block on this side is actually built by mostly by Rain. I think all the builds on it, with the exception of the one I just did on it, are built by Rain, and he's in the process of finishing up all the interiors on them and then moving on to his next builds. He also built that giant thing, and I like the design of it, but it definitely needs more detail work. It has not been textured or anything, and I feel it still is a work in progress. I have confidence he'll get it done right, though. This is the building I built over here. This is something I did after working on the cathedral that's like right over there, because I needed to cool down from working on that thing, and it is essentially done, but still needs to be textured, and you can expect a tour of that in the future, the very near future, as it should be completed in the next week or so. With that, and we also have the police station over here, which I think Austin built. And actually, what the why are there so many pigs in here? What the... You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's completely fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's not fine. Anyway, this is Austin's block. This block's actually almost complete, at least wise of the structures themselves. He still needs to put interiors and everything. I think the only thing he actually has an interior built in is this gas station, which he put a lot of effort into. It's a very nicely made gas station. It's very small. It's like one of those like corner gas stations you'd see, and I think he has a plan to have another one on the adjacent block, but we don't exactly know yet. I might end up designing that one myself because I have an idea for one. And this is a very there's a few more newer buildings on this block compared to some of the other blocks, but there's still a lot of the old architecture buildings, and that's another thing we're going for, is a mixture. As you get more towards like the newer parts of town, you start seeing newer buildings and far less of the older buildings, but you'll still see some of those newer buildings mixed into Old Town because renovation, people tearing down old buildings to build new ones, you know, as it goes in a city. Another thing he did, because he's working on this building currently, is he did this sky bridge down here, and it just, to connect these two structures, this looks good. It's a very well done structure, and although obviously it's not textured yet at all, except for it looks like these pillars, but that'll be done soon as well. I do have one last thing to show before I get off here, and it's gonna take me a minute to fly over there. In the meantime, though, just talking about future plans on videos for everything. Minecraft videos are currently going to be a little bit more farther between each other, just due to the fact that these builds take a while to do. I'll try to get them out as often as I can, like I'm starting the Dark Souls project fairly soon, but I also have to work on this city as well, and that is a project in and of itself. However, I would like to at least have started some of the Dark Souls world by like, I wouldn't say early, maybe by late December, at least get a video out on it. This, by the way, what I'm going to do is like the highway, obviously, going outside of the town. But the other thing I was wanting to actually come out here to look at was the airport, which Rain himself has been working on. Rain has been put a lot of effort into designing this, and I will say some of the planes here are tutorial planes. I believe, at least I believe so. But we do give credit to the person who originally designed the plane. Well, because it's the only right thing to do in that regard. And I know he has a bunch of custom designed planes he wants to put in this world as well, but I don't know if these are those or if this is the tutorial. I don't have much to do with that side of the build. That is more my favorite Canadian's domain, and well, he's done some pretty good work. That runway, by the way, goes on for a long-ass time. I think it's like somewhere like ridiculous, like 8,000 blocks down or something. I don't know. It's huge, but it's a full-scale airport, especially on 1.5 scale. It's what you have to do. You have to make a runway very long, especially with how long it takes planes to take off. especially considering we're just planning on having some pretty large planes, some jumbo jets, I believe, in this world. This, by the way, is the main structure of the airport. It's not done in the slightest yet, but this is kind of a ways off anyway, and there's a lot of work to be done on this airport, and Dixon Air. I believe that's his middle name. Yeah, I guess a lot of people name their businesses after themselves, so I can't judge. Oh, it looks like it got rid of my little prank. Oh, that's unfortunate. I was going to show that to you guys. Although I did get to show you the one that Austin did on the police station, apparently. Anyway, this... yeah, that's about it for the airport. I think it's about it for the world as of right now. The only reason I'm not showcasing the cathedral right now is I want to have it be its own video. But that will be coming out soon. That being said, this channel, I'm pretty sure will not just be Minecraft at this point, just so I can get some more content out there, like I was saying before. I'm going to be starting a Dark Souls Let's Play very soon. Probably I might get that out tomorrow, but tomorrow is Thanksgiving. So look forward to that for Friday. I probably won't upload anything tomorrow, just due to the holiday, but you should definitely look forward to seeing me go through Dark Souls Remastered, and I will be playing through all of the Dark Souls games, Sekiro, Bloodborne as well, Demon Souls eventually as well once I get a PS5, but that won't be for a while, and I have played the original Demon Souls. It's been 10 years, so a lot of the reactions to it you'll see will just be very fresh, and I look forward to going through that with this channel. And there's a few other games, like when Cyberpunk hits, I will definitely be recording that. Hopefully by then I'll have a little bit better of a recording setup, because I'd like to for Cyberpunk in particular. And I have some ideas for what I'm going to be doing in that game. And you're definitely going to be seeing a fresh reaction from me in that. That being said, that's all I got to talk about here today. This has been McMulligan. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and look forward to making some more videos for you guys. Bye!